Well, guys, this is the video I've been dreading. Going over the review scores for M3GAN 2.0. I saw the trailer for this movie, and it was the worst trailer I'd ever seen for any movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Easily. I went from, without knowing anything about the sequel, I wanted the sequel, to I now fucking hate that it exists. Usually, I'm the type that says, hey, maybe I don't like this movie, or maybe this is not my cup of tea, but, to each their own. The fact this movie exists is an affront to humanity. The fact that this movie was greenlit in the way that it was greenlit is a travesty. We are all dumber for it having existing at all. If I could give this a negative score without even watching it, I would. I refuse to see this movie. Just flatly refuse. So, hope you're all having a good day. Subscribe to the channel. Enjoy my pain. And, let's jump into it. To understand these review scores, though, first, we gotta understand what the hell is M3GAN. Well, M3GAN was sort of this okay, like 7 or 8 out of 10 sort of doll AI killer movie that maybe I thought could have been the next hot thing. And then a few years later, we hear about a sequel. I'm excited. Where can they take this? You think about Chucky 1 to Chucky 2. And then this happened. They basically transitioned it from a horror movie to what looks like a cringy, girl power, superhero style fight where now M3GAN's on your side, even though she tried to kill the family. Now the mom and the daughter are teaming up with her to take on another android doll, and they make her taller, and they try to give her sex appeal in the trailer, and it's so cringe. And then they have this line called "Hang on to your vaginas." Who is this for? Girls aren't watching this. Do you think girls like this? Guys aren't watching this. Who is this for? We gotta follow up on the box number, office numbers later. But anyway, I digress. I refuse to go see it. Now, some of you are going to say in the comments, well, how can you judge a movie without seeing it? Look, listen. We talk about review scores for many things I don't see or play on this channel. Sometimes we just talk about what the reviewers are saying, and it helps me decide whether or not to watch it or not. I know for a fact I don't want to see this. Okay? We're just going over the review scores to see what they're saying. But I don't need to see this movie to know it's bad. I don't. Sometimes you can see the steaming pile of dog shit in front of you. You can smell it. You can see it. You don't have to go step in it to make sure. So, let's read some of these, shall we? Alright. So, let's start with the criminally insane should have their credentials taken away. The top score from anybody is an 88 from Larson on Film. Now, the overall Metacritic was a 55, so there's going to be some idiots out there. Larson says, pure horror fans might object, but I found this model of M3GAN, also directed by Gerard Johnston, to be just amusing as the prototype, with the firmer sense of what it wants to do. Yes, you're damn right, pure horror fans will object. This movie is not horror in any way, shape, or form. I petitioned, not only is this movie should be remove the original, because you dishonored the legacy of that original movie, which was just sort of a B or C level horror movie to begin with. Empire with an 80, and we're not reading all the reviews, we're just going to skip around. Empire with an 80, saying M3GAN 2.0 is more absurd, self-aware silliness, a riot of timely tech paranoia with almost no horror, but a ton of successful comedy. Slay Queen. Successful comedy. Successful comedy. Look, I've been wanting comedy movies to come back to the theaters for a while. They're far and few between. This is not what I had in mind at all. Let's skip down to, we have a 75 from Entertainment Weekly, who says the actual plot of this movie is confusing and idiotic. I really had no idea what the main baddie was trying to accomplish, but luckily this is not the obstacle to having fun. What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? How do you give a movie a 75 when you already, just on your first sentence, say the actual plot of this movie is confusing and idiotic, but you're going to give it a 70 fucking 5? Really? Really? Come on. How about a 70 by Total Film? A lot of campy, silly fun, just like its predecessor, with a few plucky upgrades. Just don't go looking for an incessive commentary on AI. Man, that review just completely washes over the fact that the first movie is a horror movie, and this movie completely changes genres and does a horrible job at doing so. Ugh, these reviews are so bad. Even the ones where they give it good scores, they say bad things about the movie. Okay, Slash Film, with a 65, says the original M3GAN was a drag show. M3GAN 2.0 is a drag show where a straight bachelorette hijacks the VIP table, but since she tips well, is a respectful ally and has a non-ironic appreciation for above the law, she can stay. Slash Film? What the fuck are you talking about? Did any of that review make sense to you guys? Seriously. That had to be the most wokest word salad review I've ever heard in my fucking life. I don't even know if I want to continue. Washington Post with a 63. Writer-director Johnstone and co-writer Cooper, both returnees, keep the fast pace enough to paper over the incomprehensible plot and, more important, retain the first movie's self-mocking humor. The result is enjoyably over-the-top summer junk. Guys, if you say the plot makes no sense and it's incomprehensible, this is the second time we've heard this. This is actually a new criticism because I thought that, maybe the plot would be something that is actually fully realized, even though I thought the direction was stupid. But this wasn't even a criticism I had going into this movie. We've had two different reviewers say the plot was confusing and made no sense, it was incomprehensible. Then how do you give it a score in the green? How is it not at least a 4 out of 10 or lower? Come on. You don't understand the plot. Why do you watch a fucking movie? You know what I mean? Like, there are some exceptions to this. Very, very few exceptions in comedy. For example, Dude, Where's My Car? And that's still not even the fact the plot's confusing. It's more like, or it's one of those rare movies that can get away with the plot doesn't matter. It's just for the sake of fun. This is not a movie that's like Dude, Where's My Car? This is not the woke girl power version of Dude, Where's My Car in 2020 fucking 5. Oh, I'm so fucking mad. IGN with a 60. Saying in M3GAN 2.0, hot swaps horror for sci-fi action to mixed results. But M3GAN's absolutely heinous wit and killer moves leave her and not the new genres the star of the show. So my question is, People watched a horror movie the first time. Maybe you didn't see the trailer. Maybe you just saw a sequel. And you walk in the theater and you start to maybe slowly but surely realize, oh God, what have they done? What have they done? Imagine doing that with any movie series. Where the first one's successful, the first one makes money, and you get greenlit a second movie, and you change the fucking genre of the movie. Totally. Now, I would like someone to tell me how that makes any fucking sense at all. And I swear, if this movie does great in the box office, it's going to become a trend. A trend I don't want to see. When I go to see, let's say, a Final Destination movie, I want to see a Final Destination movie. Now, that doesn't mean that it has to be exactly the same. Because you could get, bashed for that as well. But imagine if you went to go see, let's say, a Final Destination movie, and they made it a fucking sing-along or something. You wouldn't be too happy, would you? Take that, any movie you like, in any genre you want, genre swap it. See what you think about it. See if that's a good idea. A 58 from the AV Club saying, it seems that Johnston and his collaborators learned the wrong lesson from M3GAN's shocking success. Yes, they did. They completely fucked it up. Imagine if Child's Play 2, off the success of Child's Play, did this to Chucky. Holy shit. You're supposed to make that girl terrified of that doll. You're supposed to make that mom terrified of that doll. Instead, they're gonna buddy up. It's the era of mutual respect in horror movies coming in. I can't stand that. I can't stand it. I don't know about you, but I'm not gonna stand for that. USA Today, with a 50, saying, rather than being clever like the original movie, a horror-tinged sci-fi satire, parental cautionary tale, the sequel, M3GAN 2.0, is the type of combo, goofy, comedy, undercooked action flick that would earn an epic, sick burn from M3GAN herself. Yeah, that's true. Everybody that worked in this movie should be ashamed. Everybody that worked in this movie should be fired and blacklisted. Seriously. Everybody who thought this was a good idea doesn't deserve to do this shit because it's bad. Just saying. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what I can say legally. Put it that way. 42 from Original Sin. The humor is scattershot, the theme's undercooked, and despite some high-tech window dressing, M3GAN 2.0 ultimately feels more like feels more refurbished than a technical evolution. True. The Daily Beast with 40. Switching genres is a futile effort to justify the series' continued existence. This misbegotten creation is a leaden and aimless bit of cinematic malware, not to mention the most convoluted 2025 theatrical release to date. Daily Beast, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Good review. Austin Chronicle with a 40. With M3GAN out of her recognizable body for most of the film, it becomes clear how much of the success of both films comes down to Davis's delivery. Well, whatever, it's a 40. You didn't give it a good score. New York Post, 38. That's negative, that's red, that's bad in Metacritic. Saying, with M3GAN 2.0, the filmmakers have employed a bold strategy. Take a $180 million formula, shred it, and forget about it. And I'll add another line in there. Take a fucking dump on it. Movie Nation with a 38. Some of the jokes land, some do not. And though, through it all, not a moment of rising threat level or terror registers credibly on anybody's face. It's as if they're all in on the joke, with Williams merely the worst at spoiling the punchline. I thought it was so bad, I thought it was a parody. I didn't believe this existed. The Seattle Times with a 38. Saying, as M3GAN 2.0 drags on, it's impossible to shake the sense that Cooper's voice was the key to the original. Looper with a 30. M3GAN 2.0 is too tiring to sustain enough laughter for even an ironic recommendation. So they won't even say it's so bad it's good. They won't even say it at Looper. They think 30 on that movie. Irish Times with a 20. Oh no, the sequel to M3GAN is absolutely terrible. And finally, a 20 from Rolling Stone. Saying the overbaked, underwhelming, narratively restless movie itself is 0.0% watchable. And I wish Rolling Stone had backed up those words even more and given it a flat fucking 0. Because that's what it deserves. If you could go negative, I would go negative. I'm done. I never plan on talking about M3GAN 2.0 ever again. And with that being said, guys, that is the end of the video. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you later.